Winter is upon us, which means I've got to change out the tires here on the XRS. Not even 2 months ago, I got Continental Extreme Contact Sports for this car, and they're mounted on the NKRPF ones. Unfortunately, it's getting a little bit too cold now to use these. Currently, it's 43 degrees outside, and 40 degrees is pretty much where the optimal temperature range ends for these tires. So we're gonna hop over to the garage and mount some snow tires on these, and I'll talk about more of those later. But first, here's a quick update on the turbo Corolla. So I'm willing to admit my mistakes when I make them. I've been reading your comments over the last couple of videos, of course, installing the turbo kit here and the first drive video, and I made a pretty silly mistake. Well, I made a couple, but my biggest mistake was with the wastegate. So if you saw the last video, when we took this thing out for its first test drive with no boost controller, it only made 1 pound of boost, and I was wondering why. I just chalked it up to it being just some issue with the wastegate. There is an issue with the wastegate, and the issue is the guy who messed with it. So several of you pointed out to me that during my install, I lengthened the actuator rod, and when you lengthen the actuator rod, it decreases the amount of boost needed to actually open the wastegate. And so pretty much now there's like so minimal preload, basically no preload at all on the wastegate, so it takes basically nothing to open it. I feel very silly for that. And that's why the boost controller fixed it, because the boost controller is hiding the boost away from the wastegate until I want it to open. It shows how, you know, I get a little full of myself, and I think that I know a lot of stuff, and when stuff like that happens, it shows me I've still got things to learn. I've got some more improvements that I need to do with my knowledge on cars, and we move. As I said in the intro of this video, it's getting cold outside, and the Continental Extreme Contact Sports are not suitable for winter driving. So what I've got here are Bridgestone Blizzaks, which are the snow tires I used on this car for winter of 2019. So I bought these tires 3 years ago. They've got plenty of life left. The wheels do look pretty bad though. I might have to just throw some hubcaps on these so they look a bit less shit. So these are going to be the XRS's new wheels for a while. I mean, they're steelies, they're nothing great to look at. They're just there. I mean, of course, they don't look nearly as good as the RPF ones that they are replacing for the next few months. So we're gonna get these filled with air because I haven't used them in about 2 years, and then we'll throw them on the car, and then that'll be that. All right, let's see how well these tires have held pressure. They were at 32 or 35 when I left them in storage in 2020. And now, let's see, they're at 21.6. That is honestly not even that bad considering they've just been sitting for 2 years. Target PSI 32, and here we go. And there we go, all the winter tires are filled up to 32 PSI. Now here's a question some of you might be wondering. I have stock XRS wheels. I never sold these. They're right here, and they've got, you know, perfectly treaded tires. Why don't I just put the stock wheels back on? Well, 2 reasons. One, because I kind of want to use these tires up. They've been sitting around a while. Might as well just use them, right? Second, because last winter, driving on these tires, it felt like I was driving with plastic tires. These weren't necessarily confidence-inspiring. But I remember driving around with these tires on this car, and these tires do phenomenally well in snow. I mean, they are snow tires after all. I'd kind of hope so. Yeah, looking at these, I know, they're a bit ugly. I remember painting these wheels silver back when I was probably about 10 years old. Yeah, good times. They get the job done. They may not look pretty, but they do what I want them to do. whatever. And here we go. The RPF ones with their summer tires are in hibernation. And this is the new look of the XRS for the next few months until all the snow's passed. Nothing really that special to look at. It's a Corolla on steelies. Everybody's seen one in their life. Now that all the leaves have stopped falling, look how dirty this thing is. Before the roads get messy and filled with snow and salt, we're gonna take this thing in for a car wash. Let's go wash this thing. And that's the car wash done, so at least the paint is looking all right. Hitting the wheels with the pressure washer made it lose a whole bunch of the spray paint that was chipping away there, so that's really funny. So the wheels have a whole bunch of silver spots on them. The story is really funny because when I was 10 years old or so, I don't know, I was very young, I painted the wheels silver, and I decided I didn't like how they looked silver, so then I painted them black again, and then that's how the wheels became what they're like now. I know the paint job sucks, but cut me some slack. I was a 10-year-old kid who didn't know how to do anything. But that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. A bit of a more laid back, not really doing too much style of video. Obviously, recently we've had a big project on the channel with the Turbo Corolla, so consider this me taking a break. We will be doing more things with the Turbo Corolla very shortly. Be sure to look out for more videos on that car, and we might do some stuff with the XRS here too. And I've got to bring the Subaru back to the channel, but I'll talk about that in another video. That's gonna be it for now. Thank you everyone very much for your time today, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye. The light is green. Oh my god.